Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda, and this is a vlog of my late diagnosed autism journey. I got a suggestion from one of my subscribers to take an online autism assessment test. They suggested a different one, which I might do that one too one day. But this is one that I really like because it uses the color circle wheel, showing the spectrum of autism. I did this one a very, very long time ago. I haven't done it again, so I thought I would do it live with y'all. I'm not techie enough to do like a screen sharing and having it up, so this is best that I've got for you. I will try to turn and talk to the camera as much as I can, and then also take the test. This is a diagnostic assessment. It is not an official diagnosis tool. So if you do something like this online, realize that it is considered a tool, not an official diagnosis. Most of y'all know that I find self-realized autism valid. All right, so this one is idrlabs.com, and it's available in a lot of different languages also. So 50 questions, so this video might be long. If this isn't for you, go ahead and skip this video, whatever you want to do. I do plan on talking through the questions because I want to show kind of how my brain works through some of these things. This particular test, if I remember correctly, the questions are a little bit more autistic friendly than other ones. There's some tests out there that, are just so obviously written by a neurotypical person, an allistic person, it's ridiculous. All right, there's my mouse. Okay, I get obsessed with strings of numbers such as dates or license plates. Oh my gosh, do I ever. I love numbers and just, patterns in numbers. I usually feel unhappy more days than not. Oh gosh, we're diving right in there, aren't we? Okay, this definitely fluctuates a lot for me. There's times when I'm really, really happy. I'm going to put it over a little bit because overall, there are a lot of days where I'm just upset about something. I hate the sound of fireworks, fire alarms, or thunder. Absolutely. I do not like sharp, loud noises. Often bump into things and trip over my feet. Yes, very low proprioception. I prefer to do things on my own rather than with others. Yes, I don't like group projects. The thing that gets me hung up on this question is because if it's doing something that I have to do, like go to the DMV to get a new driver's license, then I want someone to be there with me, because that whole situation of the DMV is more anxiety, but it's more that I don't want to do that thing at all. It's not that I really want to do it with somebody else. It's just that I don't want to do it and I need somebody there to provide assistance. But for other types of things, I like to do things on my own. I generally avoid eye contact with others. This one is funny because when I was doing my autism assessment, I did not realize how much I masked this. And, I'm over a year post-diagnosis now, and I have learned to let myself not force eye contact. And I've learned how much easier it is for me to communicate. So even now I'm not looking at the camera. Eye contact really actually is very difficult for me, and it was something that I masked so well before I got diagnosed. Oops, not back. I want to hit next. I hope y'all can see this. It's like, I wish I was more techie to be able to do cool split screens and stuff. It's hard for me to sit still without tapping or fidgeting. Yes, y'all know that I have a drawer here of all my fidgets, and it's a good thing. Sometimes I forget to pull them out, but if I don't, I'm usually talking with my hands a lot more. I am a little nervous doing this test. I feel like I'm masking a little bit because I am a little nervous doing it in front of y'all. I feel irritated and or angry when I have to navigate uncertain situations. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Here I am organizing my desk. Okay. Yes. I do not like new things, new places, trying to figure out new anything. Being away from home for extended periods of time frightens me. Okay, it doesn't really frighten me, but it causes me a lot of anxiety. I love the idea of vacations, but being away from home for too long starts to just cause a different type of anxiety. Um, so I don't know. It says frightens. And see, I want to be very literal with the question, but I'm going to just go ahead and say I agree because um, in general, I don't like being, I like the idea of vacations, but then, yeah, they cause a lot of anxiety. As a child, I put most of the pressure on the front of my feet when walking. Okay, so here's another question that's frustrating because um, a lot of autistic people do tiptoe walking. I actually walk on this outer edges of my feet, so much so that I had to have foot surgery back in April, as all of y'all know. And I have since learned, or before my surgery, I actually learned that that is another sign of autism. Some people do tiptoes, some do outer edges. It's frustrating because when you're taking these tests and when you're doing the evaluation, um, if you're talking to your evaluator, you'd be able to have a dialogue with them and say, hey, I don't tiptoe, but I do walk on the outer edges of my feet. And part of my evaluation, some of them were online questions like this. And then a lot of it was face to face too. But I do know that the sidewalking is, it's like it's hard because I want to answer this question extremely literally, but I I I know that sidewalking is also an autistic trait. I don't know. It's like you don't want to answer the questions to like because you're trying to get a certain outcome or another, but also these questions oftentimes were written by observing autistic people or just they're not really written for autistic people a lot of times. Others say that I speak too loudly or too softly. Oh my gosh, all the time. I'm like, gosh, lower your voice, Amanda, because I will get really, really loud when I'm animated talking. I am often beset by feelings of sadness. Beset. Um, I'm not even sure I understand what beset means. By context clues, it sounds like it's very intense, and I do get like intense spikes of sadness. I'm gonna put like medium on that one. That one's really hard. No, yes, yes. I'm gonna keep that one in the middle because I mean I get sad, but I don't feel like I get lonely. I feel like I'll say lonely. Alexithymia, where it's hard to identify your emotions, is also an autistic trait. But I do get sad. Okay, I'm gonna do the middle. I'm gonna do the middle. I mean, everybody gets sad though. Like that's a normal human trait. But beset, see, it's complicated. Okay, we're gonna go with the middle. You got to go with your gut instinct on these. A lot of times they say don't overthink the questions. Others have told me that I speak like a robot. Um, yes, in certain situations I do. I'm not going to put all the way agree because masking, I've learned to add inflection and stuff into my voice, but I do, especially when I'm dysregulated, will have like a very flat robotic voice. Like, yeah, when I'm really dysregulated. I have been described as having an unusual posture. Yes, I'm constantly being like hunched over or sitting funny. I don't sit in my chairs correctly, that kind of thing. Like I'm never sitting proper. When I get angry, I calm down faster than most people. I highly agree. I will get really intense spikes of anger, but then I can let it go really fast. I don't know if that's an autistic thing or not. I just know that that's how I do things. At parties or other social gatherings, I will usually stand in a corner or close to the wall. Okay, this one again is really tricky because um, if I'm highly masking at a party, I will be loud and bubbly, but it's like completely masked. It's not what I would normally want to do. And then I'm trying to think, there's parties or social gatherings. I'm laughing because honestly, there's very little parties that I've ever actually been invited to. The couple that I'm thinking of is I've been invited to work parties with my husband. Like his company had a Christmas party, and I don't know anybody. That one definitely like stand in the corner. I don't know anybody. I don't know how to socialize. I don't know how to talk with his coworkers. I am so out of my depth at those. They haven't done this in a long time, thankfully. Um, but I was invited to a party of a friend of mine a couple Christmases ago. It was like the Christmas before COVID, and so it was before diagnosis and everything. And I was trying to be bubbly, but I was also really kind of like hanging out by the food table. So yeah, I'm gonna say I mostly just try to like hang out to the sides because I'm not comfortable in loud party, big crowds. I cannot stand certain sounds such as those made by vacuum cleaners, drums, and busy traffic. Absolutely hate it. Hate it. I actually made a post the other day. I needed to dry my hair, and I was just dreading turning on the hair dryer because I just didn't want to hear it. I have certain routines or habits I feel like I must follow. We'll just go very quickly. Yes, definitely. I have my routines. I think my mouse is dying. Others have told me that I have repetitive bodily movements. Um, I think if others have told me that I have repetitive bodily movements. I I think so. I I'm not sure how to interpret that one. I mean, I do stim a lot. I do. Oh yeah, and like I rock back and forth if I'm standing in line at the grocery store or something. I almost always carry some special object in my purse or wallet that provides me with a sense of security, comfort, or control. Um, yeah, a lot of times I like to carry a smooth rock in my pocket, and I will put my hand in my pocket and just kind of like rub on it. Um, yeah, I've done that since I was very, very little. I am rarely worried about anything. I am rarely, no, disagree. I am rarely, a lot of times also in these questions, I will have to try to figure out if I'm agreeing or disagreeing with the statement. I will get them flip flopped in my head. I'm rarely worried about anything. It's the opposite because I worry about lots of things. So that means I have to disagree. People sometimes tell me that I'm being rude in conversations, even though I think I'm being polite. I'm going to put mid on this one because I think I have a fairly good awareness, but I do get told that the thing that I said was rude when I didn't realize that it was. I have trouble understanding what people mean when they say they feel happy for someone else. I have trouble understanding what people mean when they say they feel happy for somebody else. I mean, I don't think so. I feel like if someone says that they're happy that so and so got married, then that's that's pretty cool. Like they're just that makes sense to me. So I'm gonna just leave that one in the middle. People have told me that I make repetitive, strange noises or repeat certain words out of context. Yeah, that's echolalia, I think, and yeah, definitely do that. Halfway there, guys. Okay, this is gonna be probably a little bit longer of a video. People have told me that I can be obsessed about my interest. Absolutely. Autism diagnosis is one of them. like learning about autism is, became a special interest. And I like to talk about it a lot. That's why I started a YouTube channel about it. I talk to my friends at a party the same way I would talk to my coworkers. Okay. At first glance, like this question, I'd be like, what is this even asking? But yes, it's basically, I don't think of a boss or I don't see hierarchical. I can never say that word. Hierarchical. Oh my God. I know people in the comments are going to correct me, but that's one that I would have to practice because I can't say it out loud. But I don't see hierarchy in people's positions. So I, for instance, I talked about in a video the other day, I couldn't get a good hold of my psychiatrist. So I just went to her boss and talked to her boss about a situation. And then later it was like, oh, that's going over someone's head. You're not supposed to do that. And yeah, to me, like people are just people and you talk to everybody the same. Like it's, yeah, but apparently allistic people don't do that. Okay. When I'm having a conversation with someone, I prefer to look at the wall, at their shoes, or somewhere other than their eyes. Um, yeah, before I thought I would look people in the eyes, but I was actually like, I would look above, like on their forehead. I watch people's mouths, that even more so than their forehead. I watch people's mouths so much that I used to have people ask me all the time, "Do I have something in my teeth?" And I'd be like, "No, no, I'm just." And it's also because I have auditory processing disorder. So if I watch the mouths, it somehow it helps me hear what people are saying. So I look other places. I don't necessarily look at their shoes, although sometimes I will look past a person if I'm really uncomfortable with them. The more uncomfortable I am with a person, and I know that sounds weird with the other one where I don't think people are different, but if I feel like somebody is being weird around me, then I will then in turn be uncomfortable around them. I am very sensitive to noise. Yes, absolutely hate noise. Hate noise. I actually am someone who doesn't even really like listening to music. A lot of autistic people find music very relaxing or soothing or regulating. I have to be in a very specific mood to listen to music. Otherwise, music just sounds like noise to my head. I dislike talking to people I don't know. I'm gonna say like slightly disagree on this one because I am just extroverted. I really do like talking to people. The problem is people tend to think that I'm weird. So when I talk to them, then they will get uncomfortable because I don't know why, but apparently it happens. I just had the thought in my head that those of y'all who are watching this on a TV and I'm like really big and my head's like on your TV screen, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Um, one of the questions should be like, do you have multiple thoughts going in your head at all different times? 100%. But that's not a question right now, at least anyway. I find it difficult to make decisions or act without guidance from others. Oh my gosh, yes. I struggle with decision making. Like bottom up thinker. I have to look at all the details before, and then I want to like interview people and ask people their opinions. And yeah, I rarely experience happiness or joy. No, I mean, I do have happiness and joy. I'm gonna put that one at medium. I don't know. I don't think it's all the way to the left. It's not like I'm always happy. See, I overthink these. As a child, I would often repeat words or phrases that were said to me. Yes, I had I mean, as a child and as an adult, you'll know I have a memory disorder, so I don't really remember as a child as much. But I had this friend and she would answer a question, she'd go right with like this specific inflection in her tone of voice. And to this day, even though we're no longer friends, I still repeat the way she says that word all the time. And I do that with many, many other examples too. I follow a set schedule closely and tend to avoid unfamiliar things. I didn't think I did, but I have, it's not a set schedule, but I have a very set routine to my day. And it's like, I'm not going to go through my whole schedule. I just realized I was about to go into a tangent of my very detailed schedule or routine. I'm not going to, but I do. And if something gets out of place, specifically towards the evening, um, it is hard for me to adjust. There's two times. One, if I make plans with somebody and it has to get canceled, that dysregulates me a lot. And then the second thing is like my evening routine. If that changes too much, then that could dysregulate me a lot. And it's not that I can't bounce back or whatever. It depends. When something gets canceled on me last minute, that can throw me off for the rest of the day and it's hard to get back on track. But if my evening routine gets messed up, the next morning usually resets me, so it's not that big a deal. Although sometimes it makes it harder for me to fall asleep. I have a tendency to hit or destroy things when I'm angry or stressed. That for me is like a big, absolutely disagree. I don't hit or destroy things ever. Even when I'm paying attention in conversations, I do not necessarily look the eye of the speaker. Yes, absolutely, I do. I do not look at eyes. Again, this one's come up a couple times, but yeah, even before diagnosis, like I said, I usually watch people's mouths, but I didn't know that I was avoiding their eyes. Masked autism is insane because I was so masked and I had no idea that I was masking behaviors. Okay, question 36. I am almost always in the same natural or flat mood. No, I feel like that's a strong disagree. I I feel like my mood goes up and down very fast, quickly throughout the day. And I think that's why a lot of women, especially, get misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder. Um, because it's like I can be super happy and then something changes in my routine or whatever, and then I can just be super upset. And then something, I can go back and forth in the same day, like up and down. I enjoy parties. It's another one of those questions. Like, in general, no. But like, I've had some little quiet crafting parties where I have like 4 or 5 people over and we sit around and drink tea and crochet, and it's lovely. But I mean, I don't think a lot of people call that a party. So I'm going to say disagree because like a traditional like party that is depicted on TV all the time, I do not like. So I'm going to say disagree. I have a tendency to yell at people when I feel frustrated or stressed. I don't. I think that's also, again, a masked behavior. I think that um, inside, I probably would have and wanted to when I was younger, and I just masked it and didn't. I'm going to disagree with that. I sometimes have compulsive thoughts about being injured or having other bad things happen to me in extremely specific ways. I mean, sometimes, like, I'm going to put just medium. It's not super, super often, but it just says sometimes. I don't know. And, oh gosh, because my aphantasia, I don't visualize. So, like, when I'm thinking of something really bad, it's usually just a quick flash that'll happen. Intrusive thoughts are pretty normal across the population, I think. But then people with autism, and then if you have OCD, obviously would be different. Um, ugh. Like, I think I'm being too literal on this one, but I do sometimes, just not very often. I don't like going to loud places like malls, markets, and amusement parks. Absolutely agree. Do not like them at all. Yeah. I mean, I will go to a mall with my friend to shop because I enjoy spending time with her shopping, but the mall's actually miserable, if that makes any sense. I get temper tantrums when others where others cannot reach me. I'm going to say no on that one because, like, even when I'm really, really upset about something, people can, like, kind of talk to me and console me and, make me feel better. I think that's what it's talking about. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I hope y'all are enjoying this. It's kind of nerve-wracking to answer these kinds of questions. I often rock myself or fiddle with my hands to feel better. Absolutely, yes. New social situations make me anxious. Absolutely. I accumulate a lot of facts on subjects and topics that interest me. Yes. I wish I could remember them better, but because of my memory issues, like, I will forget things, but oh my gosh, I love, love, love learning. When I see a balloon, I worry it might pop. No. I mean, doesn't everybody really, though? I mean, I worry that it'll pop, but I'm not. That's funny because I feel like that's something that anybody would be worried about. But it's not asking would anybody, it's asking do I. And yeah, like in the back of my mind, I'm worried that it's gonna pop, but so I'm gonna put medium disagree. But it's like it doesn't really I don't like fixate on it or stress on it. I'm just like, oh, I hope that balloon doesn't pop because I don't like the loud noise of it. Okay, so I'm gonna put just my thingy, my stress ball. This one has a leak in it, and usually I avoid that one spot where it leaks out, and I touched it, and it's sticky. I need to get a new one. This is the Nido Nice Cube, and I love it. It's one of my favorite stress balls, but it is stressful for me to have to, oh my God, retain eye contact with others. They are really driving home this eye contact thing. I'm going to say agree because, yep, when watching movies, I do not usually look at the eyes of the actors. I've heard this question before, and honestly, I don't pay attention, but I don't think that I do. I'm usually one thing I really like subtitles now on movies. It helps me again here with auditory processing disorder. But yeah, I don't think I'm usually looking at the actor's eyes. I'm usually just watching I try to take the whole scene in at once. I'm often commenting on the background of the show or movie, and my husband's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, didn't you see that plant in the background? It was a cool plant." And he's like, "No, I wasn't looking at the plant." So yeah, I'm usually looking at other things. Expressions like raining cats and dogs and feeling like $1,000,000 are confusing to me. I mean, some of them I have learned because, I'm almost 44 years old and I've just learned what they mean. But yeah, I don't really like idioms. I've never been good at sports. Yeah, no, I suck at sports. Others have told me that I have problems with managing my anger. No, that's not true. Okay, finish. Let's see my colors. All right. My aggression one is gone. Okay, let's see. I'm going to move this over here to my computer screen so I'm not in it right now. Okay, so a lot of times autistic burnout will appear like depression, fixations. Wow, my thing is very colorful. So abnormal flat speech, noise sensitivity. I'm surprised that one's not higher. Social difficulties, anxiety is very high, abnormal posture, poor eye contact, tics and fidgets, and my aggression is really low. That all tracks for me. I feel like that's pretty accurate representation. I would hope the depression would go down, but I'm still in the throes of autistic burnout. And so, that will add in. People with autism are 4 times more likely to experience depression than those who are neurotypical. Again, I don't think it's actual depression. I think it's burnout, which gets misdiagnosed as depression a lot. One of the strongest one of the strongest predictors of depression is loneliness. Since individuals high in the autism spectrum are more at risk of isolating themselves, they have more depression triggers. And I've been talking about this a lot on different social media platforms. You know, finding friends as an autistic person is very hard and it can be very lonely. And I think as we get older, we tend to isolate more as a population, like the autistic population. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this, but if you do the test, it'll kind of break it down for you. I'll like leave it up if you want to do a screen capture. Hopefully it will show up well enough to do that. But I like this test because of the little circle that you get. Hold on, I'm going to see, because I took this test a while back. I wonder how close my circles match. I'm going to see if I can find my old one. Okay, so no, I guess I didn't keep it. I thought I had taken a screenshot, but there's Watson over there sleeping. Anyway, my subscriber Mike is the one who gave me this idea, so thank you. He suggested I do one called the MQ test, and I might be willing to do that one too. I just really like this color one, so I wanted to do that one. But I also wanted to show you Embrace Autism is this website, and it has a lot of different types of tests. A lot of people like this one. It's called the Aspie quiz. We do not use the term Asperger's any longer, but this test has been around for a very long time. I pulled it up. I wanted to show you the results because I went ahead and took this one earlier this evening. So this is the results for me on the Aspie test. And so anything on this side is atypical, which they're calling autism. And on that side is typical, which is, again, allistic. And so I'm over here very strongly in the autistic side. But I just figured I would show you because a lot of people like this one because of its graphic representation also. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.